This is Oklahoma's News Channel 8. Now, first on 8.
At least a dozen are dead, and there are miles of devastation after Hurricane Charlie blows across the Sunshine State.
2 suspects picked the wrong truck to try and steal. The would-be thieves end up being the targets.
And a man who confessed to murder after seeing The Passion of the Christ gets his sentence. Good evening. Tonight in Florida, families try to put their lives back together.
We have new developments tonight as the death toll from the storm reaches 15. Hurricane Charlie has come and gone, but will soon not be forgotten. ABC's Nick Smith reports from Florida.
Hurricane Charlie tore through southwest Florida and devastated areas along the coastline, causing widespread destruction in Polk County.
Fabulous Showtime night.
How many of you have a knife that looks something like this? Oh, it was a good knife when you first got it. Maybe 6 months later, it got dull. Did you ever try to cut a tomato with one of these babies? Oh, boy, you poke it, you stab it, you jab it, you give it, oh, my goodness gracious.
When winds ripped it from the foundation, blew it 50 yards down the street, killing his parents. His father was found near his wheelchair in the middle of this debris.
What he did is just disintegrated it. My mother and dad were laying under part of the roof.
An EMS official tells ABC News that there could be as many as 8 people dead from this mobile park. EMS officials returned this afternoon for a door-to-door search.
Fire department.
And cadaver dogs are also going through neighborhoods just like this one, searching for missing people. There are fears that the death toll will rise. The emergency worker who actually found the bodies in the trailer behind me was too upset to go on camera, still reeling from the fact that he'd lost his own home. But one member of this community tells ABC News that as bad as things look, we'll still get through this. In Punta Gorda, Nick Smith for ABC News.
As with any disaster, Red Cross volunteers are there to help pick up the pieces. A group from Oklahoma is on its way to Florida to help out. They left yesterday. They're taking drinks, snacks, and cleanup kits, and they will provide support to workers and residents displaced by the storm. The group stops first in Alabama to get their assignment.
And Hurricane Charlie continues to churn to the north and the east. Now it's been downgraded to a tropical storm, but it continues across the east coast of the United States. So we take a look at live Doppler 8000 across the east coast of the U.S. And you can see up in the upper left-hand or upper right-hand part of your screen, up around Norfolk, Virginia, that is Tropical Storm Charlie, still with winds of around 70 miles per hour, continuing to push off to the north and east. For us, we're not having to worry about hurricanes. We're enjoying some nice weather, 70s and 80s, 81 here in Tulsa, 81 Okmulgee. And guys, can this wonderful weather last on to Sunday and into early next week? We'll cover it in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
A teenager remains hospitalized tonight after getting hit by a car around 31st and Garnett. The 14-year-old boy was trying to cross the road with a group of friends at the time of that accident. Police say the car tried to swerve to miss 3 of the children when it hit that boy. He was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A would-be truck thief is caught in the act at a church parking lot. What's more, he was spotted by a group of men, and they sprang into action. News Channel 8's Nicole Bergen caught up with these crime chasers today. Quite a story, Nicole.
It is, and police will tell you not to chase after a criminal. But in this case, the group of men didn't think about what they were doing until after the adrenaline stopped pumping. The men were at Wesleyan Bible Church for a board meeting. John Dowd had just walked into the church and noticed a person in his truck and an accomplice parked beside it. The group of men saw what was happening and they started chasing them down.
They didn't expect a group of men coming out the door at them. And the driver was screaming. I could hear the driver yelling, "Get in the car, get in the car, they're coming, they're coming."
One suspect ran away on foot. The men eventually caught up with him. They also got the tag number of the suspect who drove away. Creek County deputies caught up with him a short time later. Brian Magram and James Kelly were arrested for trying to steal that truck. No one was injured in this chase, but it could have been much different. Only later did the group of men think about how it could have turned out. Reporting live in the News Center, Nicole Bergen, News Channel 8.
Amazing. Thanks, Nicole. Part of a helicopter falls from the sky as the aircraft flew over Tulsa. The engine cover from a Tulsa Life Flight helicopter fell to the ground near 61st and Yale near LaFortune Park. St. Francis Hospital officials say the helicopter was conducting a routine maintenance flight. No injuries were reported. The aircraft landed safely.
Well, a lot of folks are talking about how mild the weather has been around here lately, especially for August, but it does continue tonight, but we all know it simply cannot last forever. We will find out when the warm weather comes back.
Plus, a live report from Big Country Concert in town tonight. Find out how you can get in on this free event.
And more Oklahoma soldiers are home from the War on Terror. We'll take you to their arrival.
Also, a woman who killed her children gets a not guilty verdict after pleading insanity. More news is next. A woman who drowned two of her daughters is found not guilty by a jury in Texas.
Jurors ruled the woman was insane when she committed those crimes. 33-year-old Lisa Diaz will now go to a maximum security state facility for mental evaluation. Her 3- and 5-year-old daughters were killed back in September. 6 mental health experts testified Diaz was psychotic when she drowned those girls. A Texas man who confessed to killing his girlfriend after seeing the movie The Passion of the Christ will spend time in jail. Dan Leach was sentenced to 75 years in prison. The 21-year-old confessed to strangling his girlfriend because she was pregnant with his child. Leach came forward in March after seeing Mel Gibson's movie depicting the last hours of Jesus' life. His girlfriend's death had originally been ruled a suicide.
A school bus runs off the road, and it may have been because of an unruly student on board. At least 10 high school students and the bus driver were injured in that accident. Police in Surprise, Arizona say the driver lost control after being distracted by a student. The bus ended up on its side in an irrigation ditch. Authorities say one student and the bus driver suffered serious injuries. 9 other students suffered minor injuries. The cause of the accident is under investigation. The state hopes you can be convinced to stop smoking by a couple $1 million. Next year, the state will spend more than $4 million on programs to help smokers kick the habit. The money comes from Oklahoma's tobacco settlement endowment. Oklahoma is the only state with a constitutionally protected endowment to combat tobacco addiction. The endowment currently stands at $168 million. Oklahoma has one of the highest percentages of smokers in the country. About 25% of the adult population do smoke.
Well, another Oklahoman loses his life while fighting the war on terror. Hear his story coming up.
Some families don't have to worry about their safety of their servicemen because they have come home. See the celebration up next.
And the great weather continues across eastern Oklahoma. A lot of sunshine, temperatures well below normal. Can that trend continue tomorrow? Complete forecast coming up.
An attempt at a truce fails in Najaf.
Now, both sides just wait for the fighting to begin again. During the truce talks, fighting in that Iraqi city had lulled after days of intense battle. The combat is between Shiite militants and U.S. and Iraqi forces. The daily fighting has been going on now for more than a week.
Some sad news to pass along tonight. Another Oklahoma soldier dies in Afghanistan. Army officials say Sergeant Daniel Galvin of Moore, Oklahoma, died following a helicopter crash. The 30-year-old was in a Black Hawk helicopter when it went down on Thursday. The Army says 3 other soldiers from Galvin's unit were among 14 others injured in that crash. The Army says the cause of that crash remains under investigation. Well, while one family grieves, other families celebrate tonight. A group of Oklahoma National Guardsmen and women arrived in Oklahoma City today from Afghanistan. Family and friends gathered at an Oklahoma City church to await their arrival. This group of 120 soldiers trained more than 7,000 Afghan soldiers. They also conducted over 1,600 missions while in Afghanistan.
Oklahoma's 2 U.S. Senate hopefuls schedule a date to meet the press. Democratic Congressman Brad Carson and Republican Tom Coburn will appear on the NBC show Meet the Press on October 3rd. Both have agreed to that date. Meanwhile, Carson plans to start his television ads next week. They will focus on social issues like gay marriage and abortion. Coburn's campaign says they are finalizing their media plans and could go on the air at any time. Coming up tonight at 10, new information about the man wanted for questioning in the deaths of prostitutes in several states. Plus, as Hurricane Charlie moved ashore, you heard a lot about the storm surge. Tonight, we take a look at what the storm surge is and why it is so dangerous.
Now, the First Alert forecast with meteorologist Taft Price.
Well, hopefully you're able to get outside and enjoy some of the wonderful weather we're seeing across the area. Temperatures well below normal again today. And I know we're about 40 or 50,000 other people are enjoying the weather down in Glenpool, a day in the country. We have our own Travis Meyer there. And Travis, I know the looks very, very exciting out there. You got a big crowd around you. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Oh man, it is incredible out here, Taft. And again, this time of year, you would think it, normal high in the 90s, and we have had a blast today. Cash and Carey from the K95.5 FM morning show is with us right now. You guys This is awesome. After a couple of years of rain and things like that, how is it? I mean, what's it like?
It's great. It has been one big, huge thank you party. I think we've got maybe 60 or 70,000 fans here. We're having a great day.
Hey, Tom, what do you do, I mean, with so many people? Now, obviously, we're right near Glenpool, but I mean, what do you do with so many people in one place? This is incredible.
Well, we have an incredible crew that works on this. Actually, Trav, we will start working on next year's A Day in the Country on Monday.
Oh, no.
And not only that, but I also have to tell you that the people that come out and actually make A Day in the Country possible, which is our K95.5 FM listeners, these people are here in Oklahoma, they really know how to behave.
That's amazing, too. I mean, there's hardly been anything going on, and you have 50 to 60,000 people. This is awesome. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys kind of like the weather a little bit?
Oh, yeah, you did great.
I was going to say, I'd take credit, but Taft works the weekend, so Taft is in charge right now. Taft, I tell you what, from here at K95 Day in the Country, this is incredible, and I hope you can do it again, well, tomorrow. How about tomorrow, Taft?
Hey,
well, Trav, we're definitely going to do our best to get some nice weather to continue across eastern Oklahoma. Enjoy yourself out there. Now, as we take a look at Live Doppler 8000 again today, it is all quiet across much of the central and southern plains. We're seeing those afternoon and early evening showers and thunderstorms develop across the high plains of Colorado on into the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles. These are going to stay out to our west for the remainder of the evening and overnight hours. But as we continue to move on into the next couple of days, well, we'll see that chance start to increase just a little bit as we move on into the work week. Well, as we take a look outside and the city of Tulsa, again, just a beautiful shot downtown. And again, as you notice, very, very clear picture out there. Normally we have a lot of haze around, a lot of humidity out there. But the air has been very, very dry over the last several days. Look at the humidity, only 44%. Very pleasant temperature, 81 degrees. A north wind at 9 miles per hour. This is August in Oklahoma. It's hard to imagine. The pressure falling, 83 was all we hit today. After a look at that morning low, 58 degrees this morning. Very, very cool, but the record was 53, so we were quite a few degrees away, but still very, very cool nonetheless. Well, speaking of cool, we've taken a look at some of the numbers. We're calling it the summer of 2004, and since June 1st, we've had 75, the total number of days. We've only had 18 days that were actually above normal, where the high temperature actually above what we should see on that given day. Only 3 days where we actually saw normal temperatures, and you guessed it, 54 days of below normal temperatures for highs. So very, very strange weather again. And as we move on into the next couple of days, well, we're going to continue with temperatures below normal, and we're going to continue to enjoy the beautiful weather across the area. Upper 70s, low 80s across the metro. As cool as 79. Skiatook, Collinsville, up in Claremore, 80 degrees from Catoosa, Owasso through Inola and Wagner, around 82 down in Jinx and in Bristow. Same story, eastern Oklahoma, upper 70s and lower 80s. You move up to the north and east, look at this. Springfield, 71 degrees, 75 Joplin, 75 in Fayetteville. Our normal high today running around 93 degrees, so we topped out about 10 degrees shy of our normal this afternoon. Well, as we take a look at northeast Oklahoma futurecast, about 6 o'clock, we'll see partly cloudy skies out there. That north to northeast breeze, fairly light though. As we move through the overnight, not much going on across the area. We'll see those winds slowly shift back around to the south and east, very light by morning at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Otherwise, partly sunny to partly cloudy skies out there, mix of sun and clouds around. Look at these lows again tomorrow in the 50s to around 60 degrees. Another cool start for Sunday morning. As we head toward noontime, we'll see partly sunny skies out there. A little bit more cloud cover tomorrow than we saw for today. Temperatures running mid to upper 70s with a chance of a few showers out to our west. They'll stay out there for much of the day tomorrow. As we see temperatures tomorrow only warming into the low 80s once again with that southeast breeze. And again, partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies across the area. Now we're going to have to watch that area of rain as it slowly moves our direction for tomorrow night on into Monday. Skies over Tulsa, well, again, partly sunny skies tomorrow morning, about 60 degrees. Another very, very pleasant, cool start across much of the area. 77 at noontime, again, with just a few rays of sunshine, but a lot of cloud cover around. An 8 on the Sunwise reading, about 40 to 60 minutes to receive a burn. And through the afternoon, topping out again, about 10 degrees below normal in the lower 80s and then back into the 70s tomorrow evening. Now, chance of rain slowly starts to go up tomorrow night. On into Monday, you notice more clouds around. We'll see temperatures in the mid-80s with that slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Tuesday, well, we start to get closer to those summertime readings, about 89. Then you notice 91 on Wednesday, slight chance of a shower or storm. And then, as we've talked about for the last several weeks, just when we get into the lower 90s for highs, we drop them right back into the 80s for highs Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It looks like a slow-moving system moving on, so about a daily chance of a shower storm, more cloud cover and temperatures in the 80s. Guys, I tell you, we may get through August without seeing 100-degree temperatures, and I think we're all going to like that.
But an itty-bitty chance of rain throughout the week.
A little bit of chance. We'll keep it in there.
All
That's
right.
right.
Thanks.
Is that a meteorological term?
Yes.
Itty-bitty.
Learned that at school, didn't you?
I sure did.
All right, on to the sports, and the Olympics, of course, is big news. And I discovered that there is at least one other television station here in Tulsa, which I didn't know about.
That just got you a raise, didn't it?
I don't know. Well, I watched it, so it may get me fired.
Your work? Well, then I'll take it and go from there. Coming up in sports, it is the first full day of Olympic competition. Find out where the U.S. ranks. Plus, the AP preseason poll is out. The Sooners aren't at the top. That and more coming up next. This is a big weekend for the Big Four teams. The Cowboys will practice Sunday morning. Tulsa will hold a practice Sunday, as well as the Hogs. The Sooners will be holding their first scrimmage, though, this Sunday at 5:30. Now, speaking of the Sooners, the preseason AP Top 25 came out today. Guess what? They're not on top. Here's how it shapes out. USC, Southern Cal, your #1 team in the preseason poll with 48 first-place votes. Oklahoma, #2 with 11. Georgia comes in at 3. LSU, defending champs, at #4. Florida State at 5. Miami at 6. Texas at 7. Michigan at 8. Ohio State 9. And West Virginia comes in at 10. Some other notables: Kansas State at 12. Missouri at 18. Nebraska, if you stretch it out, it goes to 27. Oklahoma State at 36. And if you stretch it out a little bit further, you get Arkansas at 49. Speaking of Oklahoma State, backup tailback Seymour Shaw has sat out 3 days' worth of workouts. Shaw is suffering from a thigh bruise. The injury may not sound that complex, but it has forced the tailback to spend the past few days on a stationary bike instead of on the field. The Tulsa Golden Hurricane may be adding more horses to their stable. Former Union High School tailback Spencer McElwain has reportedly enrolled at the University of Tulsa. McElwain originally signed to play football at New Mexico State, but has now enrolled at TU and is reportedly interested in playing football. In a little more than an hour, Barry Sanders will be enshrined in college football's Hall of Fame. Sanders becomes only the 4th player to enter both the pro and college halls in the same year. As a junior at OSU, Sanders rushed for more than 2,600 yards and scored 39 touchdowns while winning the Heisman Trophy. The enshrinement begins at 7:30 in South Bend, Indiana. Tulsa Talons will have their hands full tonight at the Convention Center. After a week off, the Talons have to jump right into the playoffs. Tulsa will be hosting the Louisville Fire tonight at 7:30 in the National Conference semifinal game. Should be a high-scoring game because both teams average more than 50 points a game. Saturday is a very busy day in the Summer Olympics. 21 sports begin competition, with medals being awarded in road cycling, diving, fencing, judo, shooting, swimming, and weightlifting. Li Du of China won the first gold medal of the Athens Games in the women's 10-meter air rifle competition. So how's the U.S. shaping up right now? Well, not as good as they could be. China right now with 4 gold. That's right, they got a total of 6 medals. The U.S. right now with a total of 5, so we're hanging in there. Still a lot of competition yet to go. Oklahoma senior Deanna Jackson has been named to the preseason Wooden Award All-American Women's Team. Jackson is OU's top returning scorer and rebounder. She averaged 12.5 points and 6 rebounds a game as a junior. The Wooden Award was created in 1976, is given to the top player in college basketball. Saturday night, the final preparations took place for tonight's extreme boxing event. It's an 8-man mixed martial arts tournament at the Greenwood Center. The tournament will feature a local fighter, Vin Johns, who just happens to ride bulls in his spare time. For more information on this event, call Apollo's Karate at 627-7070. The fighters say it's worth checking out.
Having all the different types of skills that you can do doing mixed martial arts, you actually may, not guaranteeing, but you may see less blood. You've got other ways of submitting your opponent. You've got, you don't have to always just hit to the face or the head to knock the guy out.
That's always good to know. Other ways to knock people out. Hey, a little bit of action from the PGA Championship. Tiger Woods struggled yesterday, had a little bit better day, up and down. He finished at 3 under with good shots like that. Bronny Bear, Justin Leonard, and Vijay Singh all battling at the top of the leaderboard. So still more golf to come tomorrow and a lot more action as well.
And no blood.
No blood.
We like that.
You can knock them out any other way.
Just no blood. That's our time. Thanks for joining us. Our coverage continues at 10 after Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Have a good evening.